Good evening, good afternoon. This is Abe Collins, retired special agent from the Drug Enforcement Administration. Been retired about 6 years going on now. So last when I was speaking, we was talking about my time at the Memphis International Airport. And this one is an interesting one. I'm gonna tell you this story about the arrest of Binky and Fats. Working at the airport, again, you get a lot of information from a lot of different sources, a lot of different contacts. And one of the task force officers in the office was speaking with an informant. An informant had told him that a black female, had flew to Houston like on a Friday or Saturday, and to pick up some dope, drugs, cocaine, for one of the known drug dealers there in Memphis. And these guys' names were Binky and Fats. Binky, can't remember his last name, but it was like Binky and Fat. And both of them was fat guys too. Binky and Fats. Fat Sanders was one of them, last name. He said Binky and Fats kind of ran in an Orange Mound area. Memphis, Orange Mound is a well-known black community, overwhelmingly black community in Memphis. These guys are selling a lot of drugs in that area, Orange Mound. So Dave told us that, and he told Freddie Hughes, some of the airport people, to be on the watch for this young lady. And so we checked all our sources, a lot of the airlines flights, and showed that the young lady, I'm gonna say her name was Sharon. It may not be her real name, but let's say her name was Sharon, had flew out on a Friday and was due to fly back in on a Saturday morning or either Sunday morning. Short trip. Short trips indicate a lot. Also, it showed that she had paid cash for a ticket and paid cash when she was about to fly back to Memphis. So anyway, with that information, Fred Hughes, J.C. Sneed, Calvin Brown, all these guys, Dave McGriff, and I believe Hank Baker, a lot of us was watching the flight when she came back. And again, she's a female, and sometimes we don't suspect females a lot, but a lot of females are the most notorious carriers just because of that. People don't suspect them. And we watching the flight and saw that she was booked to come back to Memphis from Houston on one of the airlines flights. And we set up at the gate of the ticket where the plane landed, at the gate watching. So we watched her. We had a description of her. And slender female, that type of long hair, how she was dressed. We kind of picked her out. Of course, there was other females that was on that same flight, but it's up to us to determine who to stop and talk to. So she got off the flight, deplaned the flight, got off, walking through the airport, and can't remember who said that must be her. It looked like her from the picture we had. And so we watched her, wait till she pick up her bags, go downstairs to you pick up your baggage, picked up her bags, and she was about to walk out of the airport with her bags. And you remember during those times, you could bring dope to the airport without no problem. You could put it in your luggage, you could put it on your body. It wasn't that hard to get dope through airports, particularly if you put it in your luggage. Only thing you gotta worry about back in those days was when you put it in your luggage, whether or not the airport personnel was gonna steal it or not. But it didn't happen. They didn't have all that equipment they have now. Back then, the only thing they was checking for was guns and weapons, and that they wasn't really checking for drugs so much, but they definitely were checking for weapons and guns. So as she grabbed her 2 suitcases, about to leave the airport, I believe Fred stopped him. And Fred Hughes, I always say he had the gift of gab. Fred is smooth. Excuse me, young lady. You mind if I can speak with you? I'm Task Force Officer Fred Hughes. It's my identification. Yeah, we need to speak with you. So immediately you get that nervous reaction from someone when they're guilty. I call it the shaky jakey. I can't remember if she got the shaky jakey or not, but you could tell she was nervous. It was almost like the reaction on her face was like, almost like, y'all got me. And she cooperated with us, wasn't no problem. We took her to the airport, our DEA office there on the lower level in the Memphis airport, took her to our office. We already know she wasn't the main person. You already know that. Here she is, and she had her luggage, and what you do then, you asked her to give us permission to search your luggage. And we told her pretty much, you say, if you do not, we're gonna get a warrant and search him anyway. And we could get a warrant for it, but in the essence of time, she agreed to allow us to search her luggage. She was just dejected. You could see what's sitting there in the chair with her head down. She said, yeah, I searched my bag as well. We need to do a little bit further than that. We actually need you to sign a release form agreeing to give us permission to search your luggage. She looked at the paper, took it, and she signed her name on the paper, which is kind of documentation you kind of need, in the court of law. Sometimes people come back and say, well, I didn't give them permission, all of that. Well, that was just to cover us. She did give us permission to search. And when we opened the suitcase, we found, I'm gonna believe like maybe 2 kilos, could be 4. I can't exactly remember, but it was enough kilos in her luggage that she was facing a lot of time. Because at that time, when you got caught with 500 grams of powder cocaine, you were at least looking at 5 years minimum, at least, unless you cooperated. So Fred, again, did the talking. I'm still learning. I'm not as smooth as he is, so he know how to talk. He definitely do. I'm learning from him. He talking to telling the young lady, okay, you see what we got in here? Yeah, I know. Okay, so is this yours? She didn't want to tell us, but as we persisted talking to her, she says, these guys, Binky and Fats, gave me money, about $500, told me to buy a ticket and fly to Houston, and someone would meet me at a hotel there and get me, and she fly to Houston, get a room, text the hotel back, whatever room in the hotel she at, to these guys in Memphis. And these guys in turn tell someone what hotel and room she's at, and they were gonna take the amount of cocaine and take it and give it to her. And that's how it kind of worked. She may not knew these guys, or she may knew them. She also said she had did several trips like that. Can't remember the exact number, but I'm gonna say it may have been less than 10, maybe less than 5. I'm not sure. It's been a long time ago, and this was around, I would say around 1990, around 92 or 93 or something. Been a while ago. And Fred talking to her, researching it, got the drugs, and look at her text messages. She was getting text messages from these guys. Because as you remember, at the time, it wasn't like everybody had a cell phone. To have a cell phone, you had to be somebody. I don't remember her having a cell phone, but I do remember her having a beeper, a pager. She got these guys text messages and where you at. They knew she had landed, but they asked me where she at. So Fred put the rush on him. He said, "Look, this is what we gonna do." He said, "These guys want this drug, right?" She said, "Yeah." He said, "Yeah, they want it. They waiting on it." And so we put a plan together. Say, "You gonna cooperate with us, right?" She agreed to do that. We promised her that we'll let the prosecutor know that her cooperation would be, in her credit if she did cooperate. She did. So what we did, we took her into her apartment. It was in Midtown, somewhere in Midtown, Memphis, and took her, at least I took her in my car. And the plan was to take her to her house. And once she got home to her house, she was going to text him or call him, however she communicated with him normally. Nothing out of what she normally do. And these guys was going to come and pick the package up. So that's kind of how it went. However, I took her in her apartment. I had the dope. The dope was in our custody then, so we wasn't gonna give it back. Let her just be in the apartment with the dope. Because also, I forgot this part, she was like a user. She was like either on crack or on cocaine or something. There was no way we were gonna leave the dope in there with her, hoping everything work out. So I took the dope upstairs with her and placed it in a place where I could keep my eye on it. I went and hid in the closet, and I radioed my guys. I called them and told them, "I'm in here, and we need to place the call to these guys, Fats and Binky." And we did. We placed the call, let them know that she placed the call to tell them everything was good and they need to come get this stuff because she got somewhere to go and they need to hurry up. So that kind of worked out. So we had guys set up on the perimeter of her apartment, all in the area, kind of watching both exit and entrance point to the street that she lived on. We was watching it, and next thing I know, I hear is they got someone gave a description of a car, or like I think it was like a light tan, a light gold Maxima going southbound on whatever that street was that she lived on. I think it was Peabody. I think the street was Peabody. Southbound on Peabody, light tan Maxima, goes by the house, go down the street, and I guess he's trying to check the area out, goes down with nobody like on top of things. When I say on top of things, I mean they went like sitting right there in front of the house. The guys know how to hide. They know how to hide. And someone saw the car circle around, look around, and ease back, parked on the street, right in front of her house, right in front of her apartment. And two big old fat guys, looked like football players, Binky and Fats. And then I had heard of them, but as they given the description of them, they walking up the sidewalks toward the apartment, and I'm hiding in the closet. So I cut my radio down, cut my phone down or something, make sure that they didn't hear me. And I'm peeping out the closet door, and I'm looking right at the dope. She there, she's not messing with it. She got it so that they can just come get it. She got it in a little bag that she had brought, one little personal bag. I still see it. And I hear the noise. I hear some guys walking up the stairs. They started coming up the stairs. They started making a lot of noise. "Hey, girl, where you at?" And they beat on the door. She opened, "Come on in here. Come on in here." You hear the conversation. And I'm here listening. I got my gun out too now. Now you never know. I have my gun right here. I'm ready just in case, something pop off. Because you just never know. So did nothing pop off. They came in, they was there maybe less than a minute. They talked. And I heard one of them say, okay, girl, good job. We're going to get up with you. Meaning they're going to get up with them, pay her whatever they need to pay her. I think they was paying her like $1,000 for each trip at that time. But they know she was a drug fiend, so, that's what they do. They use people like that. And so they grabbed the package, the container that the cocaine was in. I think it was either 2 or 4 kilos of cocaine. And so they grabbed it, picked it up, and I heard them say, shut the door. Shut the door as they was leaving the room. And I waited a moment, and I went and looked out the window, and I saw them walking down the sidewalk toward their car. And the plan was just as soon as they get in the car, about to get in the car, the rest of the team would come in and block the car in. Okay, the rest of the team would come block the car in. So it didn't happen exactly like that though, because they got to the car. They got to the car, and I guess some ambulance was coming down the road and kind of blocked the guys getting to the. Some ambulance was passing through and kind of messed the little plan up. They couldn't get to the car before they got in the car. As soon as they got in the car, they was taking off. And I believe Fred had a white vehicle, tried to block him in. They run up on the sidewalk, and another TFO officer tried to block him on the sidewalk. They come off the sidewalk, and Fred turned around and just hit him with his car. The point was, you wasn't gonna let this drug get away. You can't let drugs just get back on the streets like that after you done had possession of. So everybody understood the importance of not that drug getting away from that scene and making sure there was not no high-speed vehicle pursuit. Because once these guys get a hold of that kind of package, that kind of cocaine, is they know they going to jail, and they don't want to go to jail. And they know they got it with them. They trying their best to get away. They trying to escape. So Fred hit him like T-Bone, hit him with his vehicle to stop him. And he did. When he hit the car, it kind of got him on the sidewalk. He couldn't get off. So these two big old fat guys get out of the car, one running with the package in the hand, the other running one way. They run. And it was kind of hilarious because you see these big old fat guys trying to run, and I'm looking, I see it, and I hear sirens going and coming, and regular police made to the scene, and it was over very shortly because there wasn't no way these big old fat guys gonna get away, and they didn't. It was hemmed up. We called him, arrested, recovered the drugs, put it away, took him downtown. These guys were mad. They're mad as. They know they were set up, but to me, they set their own stuff up. That's what they wanted. They wanted the drugs, and she just gave it to them like they asked her to. Of course, they didn't know she had been caught, but that's part of the plan sometimes. You give them what they want. That's what they want. Anyway, so shortly after that, we had a hearing, and they was before a judge, and they did make bond, because I don't think one of them had such a bad criminal history. So the magistrate gave them bond, and they got out. So about a couple of weeks later, I was at some restaurant, nice restaurant, having dinner with a friend of mine. And as I was leaving, they come walking in there, both of them. And they see me, and I see them, and they just started causing a ruckus. They started causing a ruckus. But the motherfucker, real bad language about, like police, motherfucker, what you gonna do now? What you gonna do now? So I had my gun on. I wasn't worried about it, but I just kind of tried to ignore him. I really did. I tried to ignore him. And, they all, brother, what you gonna do? What you gonna do that by yourself? What you gonna do that? Both of them. I kept saying to myself, you cross that line. You come close. You come close enough. I'm gonna see. You gonna see what I'm gonna do. He goes, I guess they was trying to intimidate me or something, but they wasn't. I wasn't afraid of them. Wasn't no way I was gonna back down. So I just stood there and paid my little bill at the counter. They were just talking. They were really causing a bad ruckus. And paid my bill, walked out of the restaurant, and got in my car and left, and didn't have no more problem with them. And they did get sentenced, and they did do some time, on the bottom line. But I wasn't afraid of them. I wasn't afraid of what might happen. I was not afraid of that at all. Actually, I feel good about what I had just did, because if you back down from these foods, and not that I want no confrontation, but I'm not gonna back down for one, that's for sure. So they went to jail, and the young lady did get credit for what she did, and she got charged also, and she ended up going on probation for what she did. They threatened her life a couple of times, but nothing, as far as I know, ever happened to her. That was an original, authentic story from retired DEA Special Agent Abe Collins, also known as the GlaDEAtor. Until next time, good day.
Thank you for watching The GlaDEAtor. Tune in next week for another episode.